My background is PR and public relations. I trained in the civil service. I know that's not going to go down very well here tonight. But I've always enjoyed technology and new media, and I've always tried to incorporate it into my work. So over the last 12 months, I've been focusing on social media. So let me tell you a little bit about why I wanted to work in PR. I wanted to work in PR because I love communication, be it written down or be it speaking to people. I love everything about communication. The other reason that I wanted to work in PR was because I'm fascinated by relationships. Now, this can be any kind of relationship. It can be between an audience and a performer. It can be between a brand and a user, between an adult and a child. Any kind of relationship fascinates me. And what fascinates me about it is how things affect that relationship. Who has the power? Who has the influence? How you can use a certain amount of words that can have a really positive effect on it, or how you can just change your tone of voice and it can completely change the dynamics of that relationship. This is the reason why I went to work in social media as well. I think these two things correlate really, really well. So let's talk a little bit more about public relations and social media. Can I have the next slide? Okay, so public relations. Writing a press release, sending it for optimization, and then distributing it to a list that you've generated from a database. This is not public relations. This is just lazy and ineffective. Having a presence on Facebook, having a presence on Twitter, and just distributing a viral video, that's not social media. That's just untargeted and pointless. For me, social media and PR are about influence. They're about third-party endorsements. In PR, we do this by talking to journalists, by developing a relationship with them, and by... I'm losing where I am, sorry. In PR, we do it by talking to journalists and developing relationships with them. On social media, we do it by talking to the real people that use our products, and we get to have a two-way conversation with them. So this is really, really exciting. Arguably, an area where this meets in the middle at the moment is bloggers. Who owns them? Do people that work in social media own them, or do people that work in PR own them? Who wants to develop this relationship with them? This is a really, really, really exciting time for us. It's exciting because we've got the opportunity to create amazing communication strategies. People are talking about our products everywhere. They're talking about them online, they're talking about them in the pub, they're talking about them on the street, and we've got the opportunity to get involved here. Now, Philip Sheldrick talks about influence working in 6 directions. This is unique because usually people talk about influence working in 3 or 4 directions. If you don't know who Philip Sheldrick is, I'll fill you in really quickly. Philip Sheldrick's background is engineering, media, PR, social media. He's been hailed as a social media analytics expert, and he's also, at the moment, the lead social media expert for the Chartered Institute of PR. Sheldrick puts the stakeholders at the centre of everything, and he thinks we need to look at how we influence our stakeholders, how our stakeholders influence us, and most importantly, how our stakeholders influence each other in relationship to us. He also looks at how our competitors influence our stakeholders, how our stakeholders influence our competitors, and how they influence each other in relationship to our competitors. This is really, really important because we're able to get much more information than we ever got before. And social media is perfect for this because we're able to glean that information from our users, but we're also able to use it to create third-party endorsements and to leverage that influence that we want to use. Can I have the next one? Sorry. At the moment, public relationship officers or press officers are getting it in every single direction. People who work in social media think we just don't get it, and journalists are fed up with us just sending things to generic lists. These are bad, bad public relationships officers. What they need to be doing is working out where the influence is. We need to be looking at developing relationships and understanding so that we can be confident that when we send out a story to a journalist, that they're going to use it. And that's not going to happen by just looking at Cision and developing a list. We need to have that personal relationship with them. They need to know, oh, this is Lucy, when they pick up the phone and speak to me. And I need to know what interests them. I need to know that if I sell a story into them, that it's going to be used, because it's a waste of my time if I spend half a day phoning 20 journalists and I've only got one outcome from it. I need to know who I'm talking to so that I can spend 10 minutes talking to 2 journalists and get 2 leads. It's the same in social media. Great public relationships officers know how to harness social media tools to get to work in their advantage. They need to know where, when, and what people are saying about them. They need to be listening, learning, and engaging. And if we're doing that, our end users will love us more for it. In Powwow now, we know that 60% of our customer base is generated from word of mouth. 60%. And we're not unique in that, we know that. But what we also know is that if we use social media and PR together, we're able to get that third-party endorsement. I'm not going to give you any new insights tonight. I'm not going to give you anything new and crazy that you're not going to already know. I'm just going to reaffirm that we need to go back to the basics. We need to absolutely understand and know our influencers. And I'm not just talking about identifying who they are. I'm talking about you need to know what they're saying, where they're saying it, who they're saying it to. You need to know what has a profound effect on them. You need to know what habits they've got, what routines they've got. You need to know them better than you know anything else. This is what social media and PR are both about for me. It's all about the influence.